Hey, what is going on, everybody? Welcome to Coach Cruise. For those of you that are new to the channel, as always, I'm still Brad. But again, welcome. We are fresh, I should say. I am fresh off the Carnival Magic. Little Zoe here, unfortunately, was unable to attend. But great cruise. We're going to talk about that today. Going to give you my opinions on the Carnival Magic and all things within the Carnival Magic and around the Carnival Magic. So yeah, we'll get started with that. But before we do, we'll go through our logistics and our for all our new people here. So you see Zoe here; she's already chomping on some salami, and the thing is, she likes to do these shows as much as I do because when anybody does a $10 super chat, Zoe gets one of these things, which she's very fond of. You see her looking at it right now. And then to pay you back for that generosity, we enter you into a drawing in which you can win a shirt. And you know what? I forgot something very important. I'm going to have to keep it for next time. It's going to be a surprise. But we have our first sponsor of the Coach Cruise channel. And I will mention their name. It's a company called Loud Cup. And anyway, I have a whole case of their Loud Cups. And the reason it's called Loud Cup is because it's a insulated cup, and you can put a drink in there like you would. You can drink out of it. But the really cool thing about it is if you have it at a sporting event or something, you blow into it and it makes this big, loud sound. And to me, it sounds like a lot like a ship horn. So when I was in contact with the Loud Cup Corporation, I said, "Hey, I think you guys might have a market in this cruise community, because people can walk around at sail away parties and blow on their cups while they're sipping their beverage, and make the ship horn sound and everything as we're sailing away." So I think that might be kind of cool. So yeah, back to Zoe here. Anybody does a $10 super chat, you give Zoe a treat, and anybody that does a $15 more super chat, you give me a treat, and I get a shot, which right now is the Proper 12, the Irish whiskey. So we got a bunch of people that have checked in. We're already up to 20, and we just got started. So let me say hi to everybody. Justin was first in again. What's up, Justin? Then we had Ben from up the road rooting for the Brewers. Trisha's here, and she's going to be with us on New Year's Eve, I do believe, on the Carnival Vista. Frankie Floyd is saying, "Hey, what's up? Welcome back." Frankie Jimbo from Memphis is back once again. Good to see you. We have Bless Nettie here again. Scott from Controversial Cruising. Ken is here. We have Greg and Michelle from Cruise Life TV. And check this out. Greg and Michelle, I got back from my cruise, and let's see if I can turn this right. You can see that. Who is that on that poker chip there? But one John Healed. I got a very nice card from them, and that was a great way to come home to some mail and packages, and I think that was the best one. That was very cool. So thank you too for that. And let's see, we have the Witchling. I think I would have recognized that name before, so I think this is the first time. Witchling, welcome to the show. We have Chris Kakins. I just was admiring some pictures of yours on Facebook, Chris. Welcome back. We have Eric from North Shore Travelers. He's had a lot of good posts on his Facebook page lately. Then we have Mandy back once again. Great to see you, Mandy, as always. And Mandy, I went to the piano bar several times, and it was very good. So I'm sure you would approve of that. Then we have Diane McDay. Hello. I think this is your first time, so welcome to the channel. Sandy the Lost Pirate Jenkins is back once again. Mimi Melly is back once again. T-Boat on the Go back once again. And Mimi Melly is going on their first cruise on April 7th on the Carnival Horizon. And Mimi Melly, that is my next cruise, the Carnival Horizon, but I'm not going until June 8th. So you're going to tell me just what you thought about it. But that is my favorite ship, I think, is the Carnival Horizon. We have Sean checking in just now. So welcome back from your cruise. Thanks for the magic content. And Sean, there is plenty of content to come. As a matter of fact, I just finished uploading the interview with Jake the cruise director of the Carnival Magic. He will be shifting this summer to the Carnival Legend and doing a European tour. So anybody that wants to learn more about Jake or is just interested in cruise directors in general, had a wonderful interview with him on the Magic. We'll talk a bit more about that. But yeah, I think we're all caught up. I think we can get started here. Now, normally I have bourbon or something, but today we're sipping on Pacifico, and I got a second one here just in case this one runs dry. Oh, Marjorie is back. Good to see you, Marjorie. And Bless Nettie is sailing the Magic in August. Okay, a lot of talking. I needed a drink there. All right, so first, I said I was going to talk about the Magic, so that's what we're going to do. All right, now, a lot of you have heard me use the term day zero in previous vlogs and things like that. I call the day before the cruise day zero. I don't know what gave me the idea to do that, but that's what I do. So I got into, well, I had to work, first of all. So my flight couldn't leave until like 5 o'clock. And well, it got delayed. So I didn't end up leaving Chicago until after 7 o'clock. Now, I only had about a 1-hour flight or so to Nashville. But then Nashville, that flight was delayed until about 10:30 or so. And by the time I got to Miami, it was like 2 a.m. You know, by the time I got my bag, everything, got in the Uber to my friends Rod and Vicky, are two members of the night crew. I didn't get there to the place till after 3 a.m. They were nice enough to wait up for me. And not only did they wait up for me, but they had a bottle of Blanton's, which I have right here, and more about this later. I mean, this has been sitting here for a while, but yeah, so we broke that open and I had a good time. And then the next morning, it was the start of the bar crawl, which I'll talk about in just a second, because we have Carnival Cruise addicts checking in, and Liz and Chris says, let's get the party started. I also need a new pink shirt since I got food on mine and ruined it. Yeah, message me and remind me of, and Carnival Cruise addicts, by the way, that $15 super chat you were so kind to give me on the Magic, I put that. So Eric from North Shore Travelers has 1 through 3, then you 4 through 18. Now you're also going to be 19 through 33. And I see Eric is right behind you once again, and he just did a $10 super chat. So that is awesome. Thank you so much for that, Eric. 34 through 43. So we're going to start off with Carnival Cruise addicts. And Trisha, I see you there too. High five for Liz and Chris. And there's your first treat of the day. And that means I get my first treat, which is going to be this Irish whiskey. And I'll be honest, the reason I picked this one is because it was less than 90 proof. Because you all get me in trouble. Oh, and you know what? We're just going to pop this little thing in here for the next one, because we got that from Eddie Lugo in the little drink kit when we had our bar crawl. So we can look all official now. All right. So Carnival Cruise addicts, thank you very much. That's actually a good shot. Then we got Eric from North Shore Travelers says, booked our next cruise today. They are on the Mardi Gras, another one of my favorite ships. I love the shows. Love in Vegas, great show. Voodoo Moon, great show. There, Evolution, great show. And then right behind that, and then so I'm going to set this treat aside here, Eric, for Zoe. I appreciate that. I know she appreciates it. And then right behind that, we have Trisha. And thank you, Trisha. Just a $10 super chat, as I mentioned. I believe they are on the cruise with us New Year's Eve, which Cruise Life TV is also on, along with members of the night crew and a few other people. So that's going to be, Yoli is another one with her husband Andrew. And I think we got a few more that are coming, not confirmed, but that's gonna be like an unofficial group cruise because we got a big group going. So that's gonna be very cool. So yeah, so Trisha, Zoe, thanks you very much. I thank you very much. And Eric, again, thank you. So Cruise Life TV says, yeah, Zoe and shot, and that is very true. Controversial cruise, okay. Yes, and Trisha confirms they will be with us New Year's Eve, and that'll be a party. I think we'll run back that Roaring 20s theme, and then of course, we're going to do a bar crawl. I think most of you seen the bar crawl video I just dropped. That was one of my more fun bar crawls. Like all the bar crawls are awesome in their own way, and some of them I may have had more fun, but I think I did a better job of putting this video together. The editing and stuff like that, it just seemed fun. The Wisconsin, I think her name was Amanda. I didn't even call her by her name, but I just kept calling her Wisconsin when I'd see her around the ship. But she was a drinker, so if you haven't seen that video, you get a kick out of her because she had a big personality, and then obviously a very thirsty young lady. She could really drink. So if you haven't checked out the bar crawl video from the Carnival Magic that released just yesterday, it's already about 600 views or so, and yeah, so you'll enjoy that one. Okay, so still on day 0, and again woke up, and the original plan, Rod and Vicky have a boat, and if it was going to be a nice day, I was really looking forward to getting out on their boat, and we were going to zip around Miami there. But unfortunately, it rained for like 2 days straight. And so plan B was to go to Hard Rock Casino, the giant casino that's shaped like a guitar and everything. And that was really cool. I don't know, again, if you saw my cruise day video or not. I put all that stuff in there. I put that mini bar crawl before the cruise. And yeah, it was a lot of fun. And I even won money at the Hard Rock Casino. I don't think I mentioned that in the videos, but I bet on Yukon to win they were like a 30-point favorite, and I think they won by like 40. I bet on Clemson, and they were actually a 1 or 2 point underdog, and they won outright by like 20 points. And then I did a parlay of the two teams together. So I cashed all 3 of those tickets. So I was happy with that. After we left Hard Rock Casino, that's when we started the bar crawl in earnest. And my friend Lewis, who cruised with me Thanksgiving, he met up with us, and there was just a big group of us, so Rod and Vicky's friends and family. And then, Lewis came along, my buddy James, that's been on a couple cruises with me now, and multiple cruises overall, but a couple with me. And yeah, we just went from bar to bar and just had a great time. I think in total, counting the Hard Rock Cafe, we ended up at about 7 bars. So we were supposed to do cruise day, check in at like 10:30. And I remember looking at my phone, seeing somebody was already at the Lido deck. And, we're still at Rod and Vicky's because, it was a rough morning waking up. And, but we took the Uber over there. Real smooth process getting through the security and stuff. So that was all good. And yeah, so that was fun so far. If anybody has any questions while I'm going along, it gives me an opportunity to drink my beer without stopping the story. So feel free to fire away, or if you have any comments or anything like that. Okay, that tastes good. All right. Oh, we got 2 more treats. So Eric from North Shore Travelers, you got to give a high five for the North Shore Travelers and Eric. And yeah, she was scratching up my arm, and I forgot she had 2 treats here. That's why. All right. So yeah, like I said, getting back to cruise day, we were hurting a little bit, but Miami is one of the best ports to go out of in terms of it's just pretty, right? It's just very, very pretty. And well, here, I'm trying to, oh, there we go. Thank you, Jimbo. And yeah, just the skyline and everything going out of port, and the weather was trying to cooperate. We went out roughly about the same time as we were going to the steakhouse for dinner. That's kind of a tradition for me, as I love to go to the steakhouse on the first night. That just kind of sets the tone for the cruise, just go get a really good meal. I like to do it early in the evening so you still have the full night ahead of you, whether you're going to the welcome aboard party or anything like that, or just, getting into the cruise vibe, going to Alchemy Bar, whatever your thing is that you like to do. Yeah, so we did that, and we had a great dinner at the steakhouse. Cruise Life TV, let's see, got a question here. How do you find that many people to do the bar crawl with you? That's a really good question, because I get asked that question a lot. And I have had several people come up to me and say, well, you know what, we did a bar crawl on our cruise, but it wasn't anything like yours. I mean, your sets the precedent and whatever. So I appreciate all that. But one of the things I do, honestly, is I just advertise it, I market it. So well before, the actual cruise, on the Facebook pages, you need to create your bar crawl for those of you that are interested in doing your own. And, put some pictures up, and you want to market it, especially the closer you get to the cruise. You could be 3 months away and have like 9 people signed up. Like, for example, this one June 8th I have on the Carnival Horizon right now, I think there might be 15 people signed up. But I bet you by the time we actually do the bar crawl, it'll be closer to about what we had on the Magic, which was around 60 or more. So yeah, and honestly, I think one of the things that helps too are the Coach Cruise shirts. I mean, honestly, because if you have an investment in something, I mean, it might sound, like a bar crawl or whatever, but if you get a shirt, you've kind of said, okay, I'm getting the shirt for this reason, but if you don't have a shirt for the event, then you can just decide, oh, well, that sounds like fun, but it's fun hanging out at this bar, or it's fun listening to this band play or whatever. But if you kind of get the shirt, you've kind of staked a claim, like, yeah, this is happening. We're going to do this. And then, as you noticed in the bar crawl video, those that you watched it, the majority, I would say about 80% of the people were wearing the Coach Cruise shirts. And, I love that, obviously, because, well, it's my my shirt. So, I mean, why wouldn't I? Helps market the channel, and, I'm biased and all that. So, and then, obviously everybody looks like one big group, and that's why I get the lays and all that other stuff, just so it looks like a lot of fun. Mandy says, did you get to see Lee? Oh, yeah. So there's another good question. So, yeah, I was supposed to see Lee, and that was going to be part of the video when we were in St. Thomas. So I did an interview with, or maybe, yeah, it was St. Thomas. I did an interview with Jake, and then during the interview, Jake said, oh, yeah, I'm going to see Lee tomorrow. And I'm like, what? And I'm like, is Lee going to be in St. Thomas? And he's like, yeah, the celebration was going to be in St. Thomas. So I didn't even know that until he mentioned that in the interview. And so I messaged Lee and I said, hey, I was like, I'm on the Magic. I didn't know, but, we're going to be in port together. He says, okay, let's get together. And so I said, well, what time do you come out to, welcome passengers back and stuff? And he said around 3:00. And I had to be back at 3:30. And I said, okay, deal. I'll make sure you get back, and, we'll come say hi or whatever. So I messaged him, and he told me his phone was dying, but that he was going out and he would meet me out on the street. The celebration was docked way, way far away from the Carnival Magic. And then they had construction going in between the two. Most docks, all the ships are on one dock, and, there's a ship here, a ship there, and, things like that. Zoe is going nuts over here. And I forgot the reason she's going nuts is Trisha's treat here. And so we are going to do a high five for Trisha so you can stop scratching me up. And thank you once again, Trisha, for that. So I start heading down towards Lee. He starts coming out towards me. I get down to the celebration. They actually let me through the gates to go to the celebration. And I go to some of the fun squad and I said, "Where's Lee?" And he's like, "Oh, he went down toward the Magic, but he'll be back in a couple minutes." So I'm waiting there thinking, okay, he went looking for me and he's going to come back. And I'm waiting. It's about 15 minutes. It's past 3 o'clock now. And I'm like, okay, well, I'm supposed to be back on the ship by 3:30. There's only one big path separating the two ships. I says, if I go back and I, make sure I'm looking real close at this path, I'll catch him. There's no way we can miss each other, right? Because it's just this one path. Well, he had another friend of his, an entertainer named Lolly, that who he was meeting from the Carnival Magic as well. There's this little street just off the side of this path, and they sat down and took a picture. You may have seen on Lee's post. You can see the path with all the people walking on it. So I was on this path looking. He was probably sitting on the curb with her taking a picture. So we just happened to miss each other. And, I messaged him when I got back. I said, I don't know how we missed. And so we figured out that that's what happened. So no, unfortunately, didn't get to see Lee, but we messaged several times after that. And it's all good. We will catch each other another time for sure. Uncle Dave says, hey, y'all. Welcome, Uncle Dave. Cruise Live TV. Santa. Oh, thanks. I had a different scarf for her. I don't know where this one came from, but I had a different scarf with little paws on it. Yeah, well, I don't know if I'd have been able to go on the Magic. Obviously, Jake, since he's a cruise director, and then other people from the Magic, since they work for Carnival, they could go on the Celebration. But I did tell Jake, when I had the interview with him, he's a big fan of Shaq's Big Chicken, as I am. And he said he's going to go on there to get some Shaq's chicken. And I said, hey, bring me back Uncle Jerome. And he said he would, but he didn't. So I guess they restricted him from taking food off the ship too. So, or else he forgot. But I was looking forward to that Uncle Jerome sandwich because the Magic doesn't have Shaq's Big Chicken, as most of you know. And let's see, Chris is saying, looking for next year, Vista Mardi Gras Celebration or Panorama. Well, I would say, a lot of it depends on itinerary too. I've never been on the Panorama. I know it's a Vista class ship, but if you're going to go on a Vista class ship and you can get in the Havana area, I'm very fond of that. That is a great area to be in. So that would be my choice. Havana area on either the Vista or the Panorama. Then you want to start looking at the itineraries of those and see which itineraries are really good. Mardi Gras Celebration, I think Lee he's going to the Venezia. He's on the Celebration now until the summer, and then he's going to be on the Venezia late summer. I think he's going to be back on the Celebration again. Nothing definitive, but let's see. Depending upon where you're going, you might get Lee again. So obviously that's a good reason. And Mardi Gras, as I mentioned, I'm a big fan of Mardi Gras as well. A lot of good shows. And I mean, it's the sister of the Celebration, so can't really go wrong either way, if that helps. Uncle Dave says, I had a cove balcony on the Vista. It was awesome. And I had my first cove balcony on the Celebration New Year's Eve, and they are awesome. My only regret with getting balconies lately is I feel like I waste them. I just don't go out there enough to really enjoy it. So, I say to myself every cruise, like, man, I haven't gone out here near enough and just really enjoyed this because I'm so busy enjoying other parts of the ship. So Chris is saying Aruba, St. Thomas, or Cabo. Wow. I love all three of those ports. I wish that was an itinerary by itself. And we got Rick, the Texas cruiser, checking in. Chris, wow. What? That's a would you rather question right there. As a matter of fact, let's answer that question from Chris, because that is a tough one. I wish I'd have come up with that for a would you rather question. So Cabo San Lucas is on the West Coast, and that's a tough question. So here's a question right now: Aruba, St. Thomas, or Cabo? For those of you that have been to two of the three, or obviously if you've been to all three, which, if you could only go to one of those, which one would you choose? That's a tough question there. And then while you're doing that, we have Cruise Life TV that just checked in. And I forgot to mark your 10 down, Trisha. I'm doing that right now. So you are 44 through 53. And then we got CCA once again coming through. They are 54 through 68. And I get a shot and get to do the fancy little thing here. And go ahead and put in the comments which of those three ports you would like to go to the most. And thank you here for this. It's a good one. And high five once again for Liz and Chris. 2 high fives. And there's your treat. All right. So Eric says St. Thomas, Cruise Life St. Thomas, Sandy Aruba, Sean Cabo. So we have some divided opinions there. Sean is saying beer before liquor. I'll be okay. This is a Pacifico. It harms none. At least it doesn't me. So it'll be okay. Rick is saying St. Thomas. Chris has never been to Cabo. Cabo's beautiful. It's kind of like a desert oceanic oasis. I mean, yeah, I spent 2 whole weeks in Cabo, 2 different weeks at a resort. And yeah, it's very pretty down there. Uncle Dave says I haven't been to any of those ports, so my answer is just yes. That's a good answer. Oh, I'm sorry. Did I? Oh, it was. I'm sorry. Jeez. Okay, because your names are a little bit similar, and you two are like peas in a pod, so to speak. I'm sorry about that. Yes. Well, you know what? I'm going to do another one because I messed that up. All right. We got to give you your shots worth here, especially. Feel bad. So cheers, Greg and Michelle. I got it right this time. Cruise Life TV. Thank you very much. And Liz is back in again under her name. YouTube started blocking comments again. What the heck? They love St. Thomas. All right. Yeah, and St. Thomas, I went to Cokie Beach. I think some of you saw the picture I posted, and yeah, it was just beautiful. Cokie Beach. It was really crowded. I know Greg and Michelle mentioned that they loved Cokie Beach as well. But it's a smaller beach, so it gets really crowded. Obviously the big popular beach, one of the most beautiful beaches in the world, Megan's Bay, is a little bit a lot bigger actually, so you can accommodate quite a few more people. That's where I'd gone a couple times before. And Cokie Beach I had been to one time before, but I just wanted to try it again. I mean, it didn't disappoint. It was just a little bit crowded, but we had a good time. We went with James, Lewis, Monsi, and their granddaughter Amelia. She had a great time, playing in the water and stuff, and we took a couple dips as well. The surf was coming in kind of strong though. So, I mean, one of the things I enjoyed doing is buying a bucket of beer or 2 and sharing them with friends. And, you just go out in the ocean there and just kind of hang out, drink beer in the water and talk and whatever. But the surf was strong enough to where, you kind of needed both hands to kind of, stay upright or whatever. So we had that going for it. And you know what? And Greg and Michelle are saying great for snorkeling. And I did talk to somebody that did do snorkeling. I was very disappointed in myself. Because I have such a big noggin, I have my own snorkel and mask. And I brought them with me because I was going to do the catamaran. And I thought, well, maybe we'll do some snorkeling in St. Thomas. I didn't bring it out for either one. So I just brought that thing, thousands of miles to 4 different islands, and I didn't use it once. So I was a little bit disappointed in that. And Chris is saying, or drink 2 buckets by yourself. I probably could drink 2 buckets, but I'd be in a little trouble getting out of there. I might be that person, that's getting shoved down the pier in one of those little rickshaws or whatever. So that might not be the wisest thing for me to do 2 buckets. Trisha says Aruba, we usually go to barefoot restaurants and eat on the beach. Yeah, I mean, that sounds great. I'm already looking forward to the next one on the Carnival horizon. You can't beat that. So, all right. So let's continue on here, because day 1, like I said, is cruise day. Went to the steakhouse. The Alchemy team, for those of you that might be going on the Carnival Magic soon, Zora was my girl. She can hook up some great drinks. I did a couple 1-minute shorts of her making drinks. She was really cool. Made great drinks. And Scardian, another really cool guy, and Marius, a great 3-member team there behind the Alchemy bar. And they did a great job every day, serving tons and tons of people. The bar seemed always packed. And some people have complained about the placement of the Alchemy bar so close to Ocean Plaza. I got to say, I really like it, especially when the music is good. And speaking of the music on the Carnival Magic, there's this band there called Lady and the Vamps. So the lady, I forget her name. I think it might be Amanda also. She's the music manager on the ship, and she can sing. I shared a reel on the page, the Coach Cruise page recently, where she's just screaming, and hitting the tone just right and everything. And I mean, that night that I filmed that whole Ocean Plaza area was just packed, and people were, dancing and, had their hands going and just getting all into it. And that was just a fun night to just sit there and, have a seat at the Alchemy bar, because it was there early enough, and just to enjoy all that live music right in front of us and everybody having a good time. So, Lady and the Vamps, very good music edition. I just mentioned Alchemy. And on cruise day, I shared this also on the Facebook page. I had lost a good chunk of money playing blackjack and craps. And then so I thought, you know what? I'm going to spend $200 more. I'm going to find a Wheel of Fortune machine, and just hopefully I win a couple $100 back or whatever. I hadn't even gotten up to 96 points on this Wheel of Fortune game, and I hit a $2,000 grand prize. And I'm like, okay, I'm good. I got all my money back and then several hundred more. And I stayed up, mostly because I didn't gamble too much in between, all the way to the end. And then that last day, I gave all my profit back pretty much. I just couldn't leave well enough alone. But I mean, to spend a whole week and come off, around even or not down too much, I'm still happy with that. So yeah, it was all good. All right. So let's see if we got any more questions here. Will G is here. What's going on, Will? Get you up on the screen. We got Justin. Justin was first in today. He says St. Thomas. Yeah. And Liz says hand pay. And that was my first hand pay. Trisha cruises in 18 days. Still don't know if we will be out of Baltimore or Norfolk. Either way, can't wait. And yeah, that'll be a great trip. And that Baltimore bridge, actually, I think I saw it on Carnival Cruise Addicts Facebook page first before I saw it on the news. And Lewis, there's my guy. This is who I had dinner with about every night. Monsi is his wife, and Amelia, their granddaughter, and James. We had dinner about every night together. And speaking of dinner, at the we really got hooked up. We had the chef visit us, the head chef. No, not just a chef, but the head chef of the whole Carnival Magic came out and brought us a special dish he made personally twice. Well, one time he came out with the dish. The second time he just sent the dish out. But the first time the dish had like lobster and seafood and all other kinds of stuff. It was amazing. And, like I said, he came out, said hello to all of us. And then the second time, the waiter informed us it was from, the head chef. And it was this buttery noodle, like fettuccine thing. I mean, it was amazing. Some of the best pasta I've ever had in my life. So we really got taken care of. Before I go through the days anymore, because I realize I'm 35 minutes in, I do want to talk about the crew. I just mentioned a couple of the people, but the crew overall, I got to say, that was one of the best experiences I've ever had from top to bottom in terms of treatment by the crew and how awesome everybody was. Like there was this guy that I guess I'm not sure exactly what his job is. I think he kind of monitors all the cabin stewards or whatever, but he was looking for me for like 3 days. He finally found me, asked to take a picture with me and stuff. And at the end of the cruise, I had scored a couple bottles of Blanton's. Lewis and I did in St. Martin, and I was trying to get those picked up. They were supposed to be delivered to my room, and he went down and got them for me personally because there was a little mess up with them getting those. So the crew was just awesome. I mean, honestly, one of the best. The hotel director, Danielle, she spoke to me personally at, this diamond event. Carrie, the HR, Marius, the beverage manager, helping me out with the bar crawl. Ranak and Super, 2 senior bartenders that, led us along on the Coach Cruise bar crawl. They were awesome. The captain came and talked with me for a while, took a picture with us. That was great. Obviously, the cruise director, Jake, very personable, did the interview. That interview will be debuting tomorrow, noon Central Time, 1 p.m. Eastern, for those of you that would like to see that. He was great. Like I said, the food, had dinner every night with Lewis and Monsi and Michelle. Amelia. I was looking at Michelle on the screen. Michelle Wilson. That's I see you. I'm about to read that. And just the food was very good. And what else? The drinks. I mentioned the Alchemy team. They were fabulous. The live music, Lady and the Vamps, really liked them. The violin duo, two, and I mean, they're very easy on the eyes. 2 young ladies playing the violin. Not only are they very talented with the violins in hand, but they are very easy on the eyes. Just beautiful young ladies. And I didn't see as much of them, mostly because I was in Ocean Plaza a lot of the times where the Alchemy bar was, and they were in the atrium. But when I did see them, they were great. The ship as a whole, they're taking good care of it. I don't have any complaints. I mean, things I would like to see on it. I like having a guy's pig and anchor bar. That's one of the things I like about the Carnival Horizon. I like that bar as an addition. I don't like that the bars close so early. I mean, I feel like you should have a bar open until around 2 a.m. besides the casino bar. That's one of the reasons why I like the Horizon, is because the Guy's Pig and Anchor bar is open until like 2 or 3, and it's a nice bar. So that's a cool thing. Because Alchemy's closing at like 11:30, 12, and a lot of people are still, kind of wanting to party. Michelle says 39 days to the Horizon for a back-to-back for a 25th wedding anniversary. Let's put that on the screen. Michelle, happy anniversary. That is an awesome accomplishment, and back-to-back, well-deserving. Liz says, it's our 20th anniversary this year, too. 1999 was a great year. So look at that. 2 25th anniversaries back-to-back. You can't beat that. And there is Yoli. There is another one of our New Year's Eve group members. Yoli and Andrew is sorry she's late, but says hello to everybody. So hello, Yoli, and thank you for coming in. Kevin Kennedy says, what's up, Coach? I was on the Magic for the New Year's Eve cruise. Great times. I mean, a New Year's Eve cruise, I don't care what ship you're on. That is a great cruise. I mean, honestly, that's my favorite cruise of all the cruises, is New Year's Eve cruise. Uncle Dave, your co-host is a bit needy. Yes, she's a lot needy. I mean, part of it in defense of her is there's a plate of treats sitting right to my left. So, yeah, she's a lot needy, and I'm gonna start boxing her out here. Let's see. Sean says, "What steak did you order at the steakhouse?" I've been ordering the spice rubbed ribeye. Very good. My appetizers were the smoked oysters, and usually lobster bisque is always my go-to. That's always one of my two appetizers, and the second one I mix up. Whoa, I'm almost done with one beer. I've been talking a lot. Cruise Life TV, Carnival Cruise Addicts. I gotta get you back on so I can drink more. I gotta talk too much when I'm by myself. Oh, speaking of by myself, next week I will not be by myself. I have a young lady by the name of Bailey, who I know we are Carnival Cruise people, right? But there's a few of you out there that have a lot of money that can cruise on Disney and have cruised on Disney. So I met a young lady that worked for Disney, and she was a crew member on Disney. So I thought we'd change it up, because like I said, I do understand that most of us are Carnival, but we have people here that cruise other cruise lines. Some of you even cruise Disney. So you might be interested to hear about Disney and what life as a crew member is like on Disney. So Bailey, friend of mine from a few years back, we met on a Carnival ship. So she is a Carnival cruiser, but so she loves cruising, and that's one of the reasons she cruised for Disney. And yeah, so that'll be an interesting show next week. That is the planned show. I will get planning more with her, but you can look forward to some Disney cruise related content. It's all cruising, but and we got Z here. Z, the Z show, Cruise Fun is here. What's going on, Z? Good to see you as always. Liz says, would be curious for sure in relation to Bailey, the Disney show next week, Disney cruising. Oh, I forgot. I just saw my little, there we go. We got to get that light turned on. That was a former boss of mine gave me that one. Oh, and speaking of, I met this young man on I'm going to try to take this off without knocking off all my, but check this out. Young man by the name of Logan, and he was with his mom and his aunt, but he was the coolest guy. 10-year-old young man, very cool, very nice, and he got me this necklace. So I'm very proud to wear. I wore it on the ship. I'm going to wear it tonight, the rest of the show. But Logan, if you see this show after today, we're going to put it right where it was there around the neck of that teddy bear so it can be seen always back there, along with all the other wonderful gifts people have given me, whether it's Ships on the Stick from cruise directors or we got Carnival Cruise Addicts cup back here. We got a bunch of cool stuff. So that's where it's going to be. So yeah, Logan, had a great time with him. Lewis was on here earlier. Their granddaughter is just, amazing. If you watch the bar crawl video, and I said the senior bartender, and I pointed out that little girl, and she was pouring a Gatorade into a cup. That is Amelia, so you know who Amelia is. And Logan has some in some of my future videos. I took a couple pictures with him, and you'll see a couple pictures of Logan. And yeah, and his aunt Erin and his mom Amy, and we hung out a few different days, at the Alchemy and listening to music and everything. So we all had a good time together, and yeah, so that was this, and very proud of it. All right. Okay, so no other questions. All right, so let me get to something else. The ports we went to. Amber Cove, I mentioned, did the catamaran in Amber Cove. The catamaran was fine. I mean, it wasn't like amazing, like the water wasn't crystal clear blue all the way or whatever, but it was pretty. The people on the catamaran were very nice. The drinks, I mean, they had beer, which was the best choice, I thought. Usually they have that cheap rum punch, which I usually try to avoid. So I don't know why I was bothered that they didn't have it, but you like to have the option. Then they had, they did have rum, but it was like for rum and Coke. So they didn't have a wide assortment on the bar, but they did have a nice lunch. And it was a nice long catamaran ride. And like I say, the crew was very nice. So that was a decent time. The thing that made it a bit of a struggle is I had the bar crawl, the day before, and then stayed out late, which I understand is of my own doing. So the wake up time we were supposed to meet in the auditorium to go down for the catamaran was like 7:30, and then we were supposed to be on the catamaran by like 8:30, and so I was just dying. So yeah, that was kind of my fault, but that's what we did in Amber Cove. San Juan, I had just been to San Juan New Year's Eve, and I needed to do the interview with Jake. He was free that day, so I took that day to rest up a little bit. Did a ship tour, which I have not released yet. Did the interview with Jake, which I said is coming out tomorrow, 12 Central, 1 p.m. Eastern. I guess that makes that 10 a.m. West Coast time. So that will be out tomorrow. And then later that night, we did Quest. And Quest was a lot of fun. You can't see video or you can't film in there, which is a good thing because I made a damn fool of myself. At one point, one of the things was to kiss a guy. So me and this other guy from my team, we went up there, and they don't say you have to kiss, on the lips or anything. So like we just kissed each other on the side of the head, or to qualify for the points or whatever. And then one of them, I don't know, somehow they got me to take all my clothes down to the boxers and to win points, which I'm embarrassed to say now. The most embarrassing part of doing that wasn't the part that I had to strip down to my boxers, but the most embarrassing part was my shorts got all tangled up and twisted up. So in the midst of trying to fix the shorts, they just kept getting tangled, and I couldn't untangle them for some reason. So like everybody else is like walking back to the table. Walking back to their seats, and I'm standing here in the middle, middle of the dance floor, still, basically trying to put my shorts back on. And Jake, the cruise director, is like, come on, Coach Cruz, you're holding us up, So, and while I'm in my underwear, in the middle of 200 people or whatever, so that wasn't embarrassing at all, But I swear our team got robbed. They truly got robbed. We had a team of over 20 people, and we had this young man and his fiance, I think it was. They were sitting in the front, and I was like at the back part of our table of people. And man, he was on the ball. And we were on the ball as a team. Like any kind of thing that came up, the women were throwing on any stuff they needed to do up there or running up there. And then if it was that guy, he was like one of the first 2-3 people up there every time. And so I'm like, we got to finish at least top 3. And we didn't. So I don't know how they're adding those points up, but I feel like it was rigged. I feel like we got cheated. We should have at least got a bottle of cheap champagne and a ship on a stick just for bragging rights. I don't care about the ship on the stick or the champagne. Just want to know that we won. That's all I wanted, but we didn't. So, yeah. You would have been laughing if you were there, Liz. Definitely. Cruise Life TV, too funny. Can't wait to play on the New Year's Eve cruise. That should be very crazy. And yeah, Cookie was on the horizon, and I don't know who's going to be on the Vista that time. I don't know if they've posted that yet, but yeah, it was a lot of fun. T-Boat on the Go says hilarious. I hope he does Quest on the Legend. He probably will. And yeah, T-Boat, that interview is going to come out tomorrow. And Liz, #robbed. Absolutely. So if any of my Quest team people watch this video on replay, or if you're on here now, 100% we were robbed. All right. So that was San Juan. And then we went to St. Martin. So St. Martin, again, another late night. And that time the port was a little bit later, so it was nice. We messaged Lewis and Monsi. We just took a water taxi over to the main beach. I believe it's Orient Beach over there, along with all the shops and stuff. They already had a couple chairs and umbrellas. So we just did buckets of beer there. The water was nice. It was overcast, so we didn't have, the sun making the water look all pretty like a lake, but it was what it was. And it was good. We just hung out. Like I said, Lewis and Monty and I were out there in the water drinking, and the buckets of beer and everything were flowing. So that was all good. And the best part, we were coming back to the ship, and Lewis and I were looking for Blanton's. For those of you who don't know Blanton's, it's a really good bourbon. The thing about Blanton's is it's very hard to find. It's not that it's so expensive. It is a little pricey. It's not that it's so expensive, but if you can find a bottle, it feels like you've accomplished something, and you don't even mind paying a little bit more for it. So I've had some luck finding Blanton's and St. Martin's in the past. There's one time I got it for like $65 a bottle. So we were looking at a couple shops, and then this lady came up to us that heard us, and she said, "Oh, my husband found some Blanton's at this Gildamere's or something like that," which just coincidentally was right back by the beach where we were at. But we were all the way back to the ship, but we still had time. So Lewis and I set out on a mission to go get Blanton's, and we found it, and it was $85 a bottle. He got 3 bottles. I got 2, but we were happy. We got our Blanton's bottles of bourbon. And Will says, "How many letters do you have?" So that's a good question, because for those of you that don't know, the cool thing about Blanton's is you see this little horse on top. So this horse, that is the letter N. So basically they have all these little horses, and it spells out Blanton's. So if you line all the horses up, it's supposed to look like the beginning and the end of a horse race. I happen to have all of them, Will, mostly because for those of you, and this, you can check me on this if you'd like, but the next time you go to the Alchemy Bar, open up the menu and look at the Purple Sunset drink. And at the bottom of it, it'll say that it was created by alchemist Sanja, and I cannot pronounce her last name. It's like Civitich or something like that. But she was an alchemist, and I forget what ship I met her on, but she was like the coolest person. And, back then, that's when they had Blanton's at the Alchemy Bar. And she was hooking me up with those tops left and right. And I told her I was collecting them to spell the letters. So she helped me, get most of the letters. So I have all of them, Will. I have all of them. And then now I'll have some extras on top of it. So yeah, I had, and Anita got me this half of a whiskey barrel thing. And then it's got little holes for each of the horses to go around, and then a horseshoe in the middle where I could put my Blanton's bottle. So it's a real cool thing. It's on top of my little liquor cabinet. It's not as cool as Liz and Chris's bar, but for my little liquor cabinet, it looks cool. So yeah, so that's what I got going there. All right. So I'm running out of time here, and I got a scratch in my throat. Any other questions? All right, so I'm going to go through the days. I'll go through them a little quicker this time. I talked about Amber Cove. That was day 3. The Catamaran, we did the quest. Day 4 was San Juan. That was the interview with Jake. And that's when I met Logan. Day 5 was St. Martin. I just talked about that and the Blantons and everything. Day 6 was St. Thomas, Cokie Beach, Alchemy, live music, Lady and the Vamps. They were all great. That was some of the highlights there. Day 7 was a really good day. I was tired, but I woke up early to film the Dr. Seuss parade. So when you see day 7, you'll see the Dr. Seuss parade. I don't think I'd ever filmed that from the very beginning. So I got that. Then it was the military appreciation, and one friend of mine that I met there, Aaron, I said, "Hey, I'm going to be filming this military appreciation." She's active duty, and that is the aunt of Logan. And I said, "You should come to this." So she did, and she enjoyed it. So I'm glad she came. And thank you out there, everybody who has served. And that military appreciation, every time I've gone to, it's just been wonderful. And at this particular military appreciation, there was a World War II veteran. And one thing I found very cool today when I was editing the film with Jake, the cruise director, the interview, is he said one of the best moments he's had as a cruise director was when there was this World War II veteran on his ship. And he's like, that's the first one I ever met. Little did he know, just a day or two later, he was going to meet his second one at the military appreciation at the Carnival Magic of this cruise that I was just on. So you'll get to see a World War II veteran and hear him speak, and it's emotional. It's emotional. I will tell you that much. War is not pretty, and he shares some story, but it was it was very cool to see that gentleman speak, and all of the military veterans, active and retired, um, give appreciation, show support for them. Wonderful thing that Carnival does, and so many of the veterans really thank Carnival, straight out, like for putting that event on and stuff like that. That's a really wonderful thing that Carnival does. That they do it to a level that no other cruise line does to show appreciation for military veterans and stuff like that. And if you had never been to one, even if you've not served, if you just go and as a show of support or whatever, and to just hear and see the whole thing, it's a really really cool event. And I'm going to air that whole thing, the entirety of it, on a later video coming up. So make sure you watch that and check it out. Will G says they are getting rare. Yes, not too many World War II veterans around. So that is going to be a treat for you to check that out. Uncle Dave says, as a 10-year Army veteran, and thank you for your service, sir. I never missed the veteran appreciation meeting. That's a reason I stay with Carnival. Case in point. So thank you for confirming that, Uncle Dave. And yeah, on number 2 here. All right. So day 7 was also the diamond party. So after the military appreciation, went to the diamond party. So speaking of military appreciation, it allowed me to invite one guest. So I said, hey, Aaron, we had just finished the military appreciation. Would you like to be my guest? So she accompanied me to the diamond party. We got a few free drinks, and those of you that have been in the diamond platinum party, basically just give you free drinks. They thank you for being so loyal to Carnival and everything, and play some music for you. And the cruise director gets up there, they interview all the senior officers, and yeah, it's just an example to get together and drink and have a little fun with no bill attached to it. So that's always a good thing. And then day 8, the entire cruise, I had not been in the pool. And honestly, I think that I probably would have not been in the pool much unless it was the Serenity hot tubs, because it was spring break after all. And the pool was cold, which is the only reason why it wasn't packed. I'd walked past it a few times during the week and seen that it was very crowded. And I mean, forget the hot tub. You just were not going to get into a hot tub unless you wanted to sit with 20 kids, because there was like 20 kids every time I looked in the hot tub. I did see people post that they would never go on a spring break cruise again because of all the kids. I mean, I didn't notice the kids so much. Maybe that's because I'm like hanging out at the Alchemy bar and just listening to music or going to the casino or something. But, I mean, if you're with the family and you have kids, I guess you don't have a whole lot of an option. But if you don't have kids, I imagine a lot of those people were up at the Serenity deck or something like that. Or if they have older kids, just let them roam free and, go wander off on their own. I don't know. But yeah, I did notice some kids in the pool that one day. I did enjoy my pool day very much, but toward the end of the pool day, that's when the kids started to really show up and just jumping in the pool and whatnot and splashing everywhere. And that kind of ended the fun of my pool day. Plus, it was a little bit chilly, but it was it was it was still cool. It was, like I said, it was a great pool day. There was a little event that happened there. I'm not going to get into. Didn't concern me, but that part was a little bit unfortunate. The people out there know what I'm talking about. But all right, so that pretty much covers it. I think I covered pretty much everything I wanted to discuss. At least I touched on it a little bit. I want to, as a matter of fact, I want to get started another. I have my little giveaway for the Souvenir Jubilee. We had Carnival Cruise Addicts now 2 different times, both on the Magic Cruise when I did my live, and then this week. So you are going to be 21 through 25, and then 26 through 30. And then we had Cruise Life TV. You're going to be 31 through 35. All right. So you're going to be 31 through 35. And let's see here. Where did we get as far as? Okay, so we got through 68. We did not give away a shirt today, so we have 32 more to give away a shirt next week. So that's almost guaranteed to happen. And then, like I say, the first souvenir of the Jubilee, that went to Brad H., and I will be sending that out. I said I wouldn't send it till I got back from the cruise, so I'll be sending that out this week. And then, like I say, when we get to 100, I have my second box here of the Carnival Jubilee souvenir here, and that's for free. Just any $15 or more super chat will get you entered in that for a free drawing. So, any other questions? I got almost a full beer here, so if we get some more questions, I'm happy to stay on. I'll take a couple sips and wait for a question or a comment or anything like that. Anybody wants to add? I will say, again, Bailey from Disney Cruises is going to be my guest next week, and you'll be able to ask her a whole bunch of questions about cruise life and life on Disney and how that differs from some of the cruise lines that some of us may go on. I know we have a large contingent of Carnival cruisers, but like I know Rick, for example, I know he's not a Carnival cruiser. He's a loyal to Royal person. I know we have people that go on the Norwegian. I know we have several people that cross the cruise lines and go on a variety of different ones. So yeah. Cruise Life TV says, oh, the 2 little girls. I'm trying to think of which 2 little girls you're talking about. I mean, I should have probably scooped up Amelia because I know Amelia. Amelia is Lewis and Monsi's granddaughter. I should have scooped her up, and the one I said was a little senior bartender. But yeah, I think I know the 2 little girls you're referring to, but I didn't really know them, so I don't want to, I feel a little strange if people don't know me and I just grab their children or whatever. Hold on a second here. Uncle Dave says, wait, 32 more what? Oh, Uncle Dave. So, 32. So, Uncle Dave. So, what I do is when people, like, for example, I see Rick just did a $2 super chat. I give away Coach Cruise shirts. I do a drawing once we reach 100. So anybody and I have different colors and stuff like that. So anybody that does a super chat, it could be as little as $1, and you get entered in the drawing. So Rick, the Texas Cruiser here, he just did a $2 super chat, for example. So thank you for helping me clarify my point. So Cruise Life TV, that was the last and they had numbers 54 through 68. So now Rick is going to be numbers 69 and 70. So when I get up to 100, if I draw number 69 or 70, for example, then Rick is going to win a Coach Cruz shirt. And then he just gives me his address. I send it to him, and that's that. So the 32 more, now it's 30 more, and we'll be giving away his shirt. So as far as the $10 go, $10 does Zoe a big, treat that she likes. A $15 one gives her a treat, and it gives me a shot. So that's kind of what that is. And then, yeah, so that's how that works. Michelle, so the girls from the restaurants with the black and red checkered. I'm going to have to watch it. And I've done a few shots tonight, Michelle, so my head is not as clear as it once was at the start of the show. So otherwise, I would probably remember what you're talking about. Liz is saying, get Coach drunk. Yeah, I think, between the beer and I think I did a bonus shot because I messed up, confusing CCA for CLTV. And, it was in Miami. Oh, okay. When you said little girls, I'm thinking of little girls. I didn't know you were talking about, the little hottie. So yeah, that was the last stop on our little bar crawl that Rod and Vicky took me on. So that's one of their stomping points is the Twin Peaks there in Pembroke Pines. And so they know all of those girls because they go in there on the regular. And so they're like, oh, hey, this is Coach we were telling you about or whatever. So, they were giving them my buttons and everything. And so they were all wearing the buttons. So, yeah, they took all the pictures with me and stuff. But, yeah, I know I'm a very large human next to them. Oh, look at this. Uncle Dave. Look at that. That's how you make an entrance. It's his first time on the show. And check that out. You are 71 through 90, Uncle Dave. And yeah, so if we get 10 more, we will do a shirt drawing tonight. But here's what happens. You, sir, have bought me a shot, Uncle Dave. So let's do that shot. And then you also hooked Zoe up with a treat. We'll get to Zoe's treat after mine. But Uncle Dave, a veteran of the armed forces, cheers to you, sir, and thank you for the shot. Very good one. And Zoe, come on up here. You got a treat from Uncle Dave. So high five for Uncle Dave. And look at that. There you go. So you made Uncle. And look at that. We have Liz from Carnival Cruise Addicts. She wanted to finish it off. So 91 through 100. And now we get to show Uncle Dave how this works. So here's what I do, Uncle Dave and everybody else. We have Eric from North Shore Travelers. They had part of the last raffle that we were in and then the start of this one. So they were numbers 1 through 3. Then we had Carnival Cruise Addicts, numbers 4 through 18. And then also, because the 4 through 18 came while I was on the Carnival Magic last week. And then also today, 19 through 33. Then North Shore Travelers again, 34 through 43. We had Trisha, 44 through 53. We have Cruise Life TV, 54 through 68. We had Rick get us up to 70, 69 and 70. And then you, Uncle Dave, 71 through 90. And then Liz with Carnival Cruise Addicts, 91 through 100. And we have officially qualified to do the drawing. So, whoops, hold on. Get this ready here. So you see here, my phone is blank. So what I do is I say, hey, Siri, give me a random number 1 through 100. You see it's blank right there. And then whatever number that she gives me is whoever wins. Siri, give me a random number 1 through 100.
The answer is 96.
96, which is Liz, who needs a new pink Coach Cruz shirt. So she got it. So Uncle Dave, you missed by just 6. Liz is in need of a Coach Cruz, but Uncle Dave, I hope you'll be back. I hope you enjoyed the show. And yeah, so we got to set Liz up with that pink Coach Cruz shirt. Because she was in need of it. And they're some of our biggest supporters. We love Carnival Cruise Addicts, Cruise Life TV, North Shore Travelers, all of our content creators. We had Scott from Controversial Cruising on here earlier as well. So yeah, thank you for that. And I guess we can end on that. But to all our new people that were here today, and thank you for finishing us off, Uncle Dave. I'm having a hard time speaking now that I've had a few shots. Sandy Laws, Pirate Jenkins, Michelle, Liz, T-Boat on the Go, Trisha Nichols. There's Eric from North Shore Travelers. Uncle Dave says he shall return, and I hope you do. And we had Rick. A bunch of you are hanging on here late. We got 27 of you on here watching right now. Thank you for hanging all the way through here. We're over an hour and 10 minutes in. I forgot to ask if you'd hit the like button. If you haven't hit the like button for the show, there's a lot of people that watch this on replay. So they'll see the replay of this. And yeah, I guess that's about it. Again, next week, my friend Bailey, she's a former Disney Cruise crew member. She's going to be telling us all about the cruise life. And since she's no longer working for Disney, she can give us the dirt, give us the good stuff. So we'll hear from her next week, I hope. And so join me for that next Tuesday, same time, same place. We will see you all then. And thank you all for joining me so much. Thank you, everybody, again, for the super chats, for the comments, for everything, for watching in general. If you're watching on this replay, thank you, too. Just hit that like button. Thanks again. Oh, and subscribe. If you're not subscribed to Coach Cruz, subscribe, hit that notification bell. Appreciate that sincerely. All right. Take care, everybody.